Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome back to Doom 3. All hell has broken loose, as expected, except this guy's alive. Though, by the end of the game, it's revealed that everybody's dead.
Everyone's still alive. I can't believe I found you. Something happened. I don't know what. It was like a shockwave. It passed through the entire base. People started changing. It was crazy. I was working up here on the vent shafts. I don't know how I survived.
I also don't know how you survived, but don't worry, you'll eventually be dead. Which leads to an issue, story-wise, I guess, is if, like, what happens to demons after they die?
I don't
like,
know what's in there.
Like, I think I mentioned this sometime in Doom 2. When you're actually in hell and you're fighting against demons and killing them, but where do they go? What is the presence that actually turns everybody into zombies? Why does it just stop showing up for the rest of the game? These are mysteries without answers. But for now, let's see what Marcus Stanton was up to. Because all hell is breaking loose, but hey, we got time to read some emails and listen to some audio logs. Would you believe chainsaws? They serve no purpose on Mars. I'm sending them back as soon as I get the time. Meanwhile, expedite my jackhammers. If you've received this email, you are someone I worked with while here on Mars and have made an impression on my life. That's why I made a single email and sent everybody a very generic goodbye. 'Cause you meant so much to me. I've received the email... Oh, okay. Any idea who this guy is? Are you gonna go have a drink with him? I wouldn't normally, but if he's buying... I suppose that would be a good idea.
This is Mark Stanton.
Undocumented cargo heading to Delta. Of course.
I'm not sure who to send this to, so I decided to send it to quite a few people. If you're on the recipient list, please take a moment to review this report. It is quite important. I'm very concerned over the shipping procedures out here. I am the manifest controller, and as such, I need to be informed of everything coming in and out of Mars City. Someone here is subverting my position and preventing me from getting data on things being shipped. This is unacceptable. Not only could this reflect poorly on my upcoming review, but this is my job and I'm tired of being out of the loop. I have no idea who keeps telling the shipping crews to allow things in and out without allowing me to produce or procure the manifest, but whoever it is, it must stop. One of the dock workers actually told me to piss off when I tried to stop one of the last containers from going straight to Delta. I immediately filed a report and will follow up with the transit manager next time I see him.
Yeah, you show them, because that's what bureaucracy is, how bureaucracy and secret... Oh, hello. Secret conspiracies are dealt with through paperwork and reports. Oh, and now we have keys that are just keys that have no,
Managed you. This is Specialist Wilson. My team is gone. They're all dead. I'm running blind here. What are my orders? Over.
Specialist Wilson, this is Sergeant Kelly. Stay sharp, son. Move to your last known RP and fortify your position. We'll find you.
Now, the presence of this other Marine who is able to talk to Sergeant Kelly presents something that... Yep. Ugh. Oh. Okay, before I get into that, their death noises, they could use a lot more work. But this kind of brings up my point I made in some other game about silent protagonists. I'm not a big fan of them. Hello. Like, the idea of the silent protagonist generally leads to video games in which characters are consistently just shouting at you. That you as a character have no real motivations of your own outside of what you're being told to do. Ah, that guy likes to do a very bad job at taking cover. But before I go, let's grab one of those shards. So, and the fact that you have no voice...
What are these things?
Oh, hello. That is the weird, fast-moving one. So, like, in theory, your radio works. In theory, your radio is not busted. But because you are a silent protagonist, you have no means of communicating with Sergeant Kelly, which is clearly something that the other characters can do. Let's see, what was in this direction? Oh, hello. I think this was... I missed. Oh, hello. So, because it presents the idea that other people are communicating, and you're not, like, it makes your presence in the world matter less. Like, the idea that, you, like, when you look down and you have no body, you're just an arm and extension of a gun. Now, when you show up and everybody's doing the talking, that's fine, but as the game continues, like, I would imagine you would find reasons to actually have a voice. Also, this PDA gives you the security code for this locker, because one of the patients apparently attacked and I think tore his tongue out, and they decided to lock their stuff up. So that was the patient attack.
Dr. Mark Casian, at 1547, patient Jonathan Wills was admitted after complaining of insomnia and nausea. According to the nurse, Mr. Wills was calm and exhibited no signs of disorder when he was brought to exam room 5. However, by the time I reached him at 10 after 4, his personality had changed dramatically. When I entered the room, Mr. Wills lunged at me with a scalpel he apparently stole from a supply drawer. With the assistance of an orderly, we managed to subdue and sedate him without injury. Mr. Wills was heavily medicated and could not be diagnosed, but in the 20 minutes he was left unattended, he managed to carve 3 symbols in his arm and cut his own tongue into 2 halves. I can only guess at the cause of his problems. I hope that additional psychiatrists arrive soon. In the meantime, in response to this assault, all medical supplies and armaments will be locked in a secure hospital cabinet with the code 347.
Alright.
Dr. Casian out.
Also, when he says in 2 halves, that almost sounds like he's also saying, like he cut his tongue into 4 parts. Because if you cut your tongue in half, then that means you just cut it into 2 parts. but if you cut it into 2 halves... Oh, hello. Goodbye. Yeah, while the bestiary in this game is interesting, the more I play the game, the less threatening it becomes. Because everything moves very slowly. And that's something I would have to give props to, the Doom reboot for. I don't know if I'm able to go under there. I'm gonna try. Okay. Because in Doom, the Doom reboot, at the very least, I'm not good enough to worry too much. Oh, here we go. Storage is 584. I'm going to need that in a little bit. We have a troop to replace Alan. He has no name. And there are sentry bots. Going crazy. These sentry bots lost their mind, shooting all these bystanders out of control. Tear you up. Rip out your insides. He's dead. But with the Doom reboot, like, even if I would imagine, even if you're really good at the game, like, you still have to move a lot. You still have to maintain. What was the code? 584. And this gets me... Yeah, they kind of looted and pillaged their own armory. But, to be expected. Actually, yeah, those use different bullets. Like, you constantly have to keep moving. Because the idea of slowing down would mean that you're pretty much dead. That was one of the things that... I'll do this.
Connection established.
Marine, I can't believe you're still alive. I'm unable to return to Mars City. All passages out of the Delta complex have been blocked.
Whoop.
I'm setting up a command post here. I can monitor status reports of the entire base from Delta Central Authority and communicate with other Marine teams. It's your mission to link up with Bravo Team and get that transmission sent. Head toward Alpha Labs. It's the fastest way to find them. I'll update your PDA security clearance from here. Good job, and good luck, Marine.
Now, was he just kind of sitting at his desk waiting for somebody to answer on the other side? Like, fighting that guy didn't require any movement on my part. I just had to make sure I was in the right position, fired, and I was safe. Although, I guess this also goes towards, towards the goals of this game versus the goals of the reboot. Hello? And one more. Like, the human enemies, once you realize how dumb they are, they don't have anything. There's nothing they can do to stop you. It's only as you get farther into the game, when the cacodemons start showing up, when the lost souls start showing up, the revenants start showing up. Ah. See, that's a nice effect. When you get to like a really dark room.
Marine, if you run across any operational sentry bots, use them. Those guys pack a lot of firepower.
Alas, hell is so terrible on everybody, it denies us Super Turbo Turkey Puncher 3, which costs 20 credits. Jeez, Nabcon is really going after people's money with that one. Like, you could probably buy yourself a Thirsty Burst or a Rabo Cola for way less. And yeah, that's when things start to get hectic.
The UAC is here to help you.
Oh, this is a good scene.
Free and confidential.
Yep, that's it. Apparently they decided to borrow things from other horror games as well. Probably most notably, I don't know, did Fear exist at this time? I don't remember when the original Fear came out. Huh, I'll have to look into that. Maybe I'm looking at games that came afterward, but there we go. Also, I kind of like how that blood spider just cakes the wall. Oh, hello. Hello. Friendly, Now, here's the thing. Like, he's gonna do his own thing. He doesn't want to head off in this direction, but I'm going to go here. Because this will be the last chance I have to explore this area of the game, see what it has, realize it has nothing. Alright, I'm coming, little friendly sentry bot. Definitely not spider bot in any sort of way. But it becomes a very, very cheap way of dealing with bad guys. Because, like, there's no reason to actually do...
Marine, you gotta get the Bravo team quickly. They need all the firepower they can get. Sending that transmission is critical to our survival.
To do any of its work for it. Now, here's the thing. It can be destroyed, by the way. It just takes a lot to destroy it. And I believe in this first sequence, there aren't going to be any... There aren't going to be any problems it can't handle. Also, though, don't get in the way in between the sentry bot and whatever it's shooting at. Because it'll just shoot you. That was a really, really poor jump. But now that the sentry bot has arrived at its destination... that requires Duncan Matthews' PDA, and Duncan Matthews' PDA is way up there, which somehow is accessed through here. But yeah, once it does its job, it's like, yep, I'm done. You gotta take care of yourself now, Marine. Farewell for now. We understand the pressures and the concerns of civilians in Mars City. I want to assure you that there's nothing to worry about. We have everything in control. I hope this will help you sleep easier. We will not be able to fulfill your request for a plasma gun. I would like to take this opportunity to remind you, civilians are not allowed the possession of weapons. If you ask again, we will report you. I suppose that would be a little bit extreme. Being like, hey, none of the other scientists here have a plasma gun or any sort of gun. Like, not even a pistol. It's kind of odd the way that they kind of flail about as they walk towards you. But alas, I do not need any armor, for I am armored up. Administration. The administrative facility is a corporate presence on Mars. Union Aerospace executives live on this in this area. Ooh, I believe this is also the.
You understand, Dr. Petruger?
No, I understand everything.
He has really good hearing if he can hear this conversation from all the way over there.
Is that what you're calling it?
The situation is out of control.
It's not out of control, Swan.
You're out of control.
Manage this, and you and your flunky will be taking control of nothing. Do you understand?
Yes, Petruger.
Yes, Petruger.
I think I do understand. Okay, plan B.
And yeah, I think I oversold that shotgun. Like, we weren't really standing that far away, and that guy was all like, nope, I don't care about your, I don't care about your shotgun.
Welcome to the Alpha Labs.
Welcome to the Alpha Labs.
By the Union Aerospace Off-World Research Division. The Alpha Labs began construction on October 29th.
Oh, hello.
2019.
So this is the more, you know, for some reason I remember those guys as taking just one shot, but... Now, which way? Okay, so I believe the way to the Alpha Labs... Oh, hello. Damn it. I talked about that early on, and then I forgot. Oh, hello. The idea of just, like, walking through a door and then an imp is gonna be like, oh, hey, I'm just gonna jump on you right now.
Don't stop, buddy. There's nothing you can do for me. They're all gone. Surprised us. They just came out of nowhere.
So, it's been a while since
Access denied.
I've played this game, but the more I do, I find myself comparing the story of this game a little bit closer to Aliens. I mean, it doesn't help that every so often people are describing the demons as coming out of the walls, which is a very... Oh, hello. A very, very alien line. And then there's the entire idea of the company of UAC. and the company man interested in the monsters. So, let's see, there's a safe here. Let's see if Alan Doorwheeler has the code. Armaments and cabinet, the door code is 586. Online pharmacy. Go to MartianBuddy.com. At one point, I will actually have to go to MartianBuddy.com to see if it still exists. Also, Elliot Swan might shut down this whole operation, which is probably for the best. Ooh, grenades. I forgot about the fact this game had grenades. But like, so this game has the corporate guy. In this case, would be Betruger, who was sees this monster. Like, I don't know what he expects to gain from summoning the forces of hell. Maybe it's a similar thing to maybe it's something similar to, say, Saren in Mass Effect, where you consider the forces of hell to be an inevitable invasion, and it's better to join them than to doom everybody. But, like, at the end of the game, he just essentially becomes... Betruger essentially just becomes a demon. Oh, hello. So, I guess this leads to a couple questions. Question number one is, what were they actually working on? I think it had something to do with teleportation, and I don't remember if it was just teleportation in general. Because if that's the case, then I'm sure we'll find that out once we get deeper into Delta Labs. In which case, that makes this game closer to Event Horizon than anything else. Oh, here's where the demon shows up. I will shut up momentarily and give the demon his due. Now, I actually kind of like the design of the demon in this game. As it's something different, like, it's not just like it's not just the hell demon itself, but it's kind of like a twisted around technology. Like, it's melding between the Hellspawn and the technology that of Mars. And I think that inspiration led to the demon as seen in the movie, where you can kind of see the demon spawn had kind of mutated from the doctor scientist guy. It's been a while. And kind of was built from that as a foundation. The problem, I guess, I don't know if it's a problem or not, but the demon in this game...
Bravo team reports there's some sort of unidentified growth taking over parts of the base. I don't know what it is, but it can't be good. Stay sharp.
is not particularly threatening. I mean, as you can see, I've already dealt with a couple of them and used a few shotgun shells, and that's it. So it's no more threatening than it was in the original game. It's just the presence of the atmosphere makes it seem like it's more threatening. Also, Martian Buddy. Let's give this one a look. Alright. So this code is 0508. Now the trick with the Martian Buddy code is you're actually supposed to go to the Martian Buddy website in order to get them. But that website doesn't exist anymore, so that would make things a little bit tricky. Also, I may have gotten turned around, spun upside down. Let's see. Oh yeah, because the last thing I did was I got the key, which I've been needing. In order to get inside Alpha Labs, which itself is to some degree of importance. So that door is still no good. I'm just gonna hopefully cut to the right spot. Ah, hello. How are you doing?
It isn't working. I tried everything. The computers aren't responding. I can't get root access to the systems. We can't do it here. We'll have to access the system somewhere else. All right, let's go.
Also to note is that he is holding a BFG. Oh, hello. Which we won't be able to get our own BFG for quite a while, but that's to be expected. I mean, it's the high-end weaponry. It's the top of the line, the big cheese. Yeah, this is where we get this game's version of the Berserk. Like, the Doom reboot, I think, incorporates its power-ups without any fanfare, whereas this one... Oh. Nope, it's just a PDA. And alas, the hallucinations have begun. You know, it kind of shows how very oddly paced this game is. Considering the fact that the only time we really ever see Protruder, bald bad guy, is when is just kind of like when he kind of laughs in the background. Betruger. There we go. Religious artifacts. Like, once you start shipping in religious artifacts from Earth, then you have to really start questioning what these scientists are up to as corporate businessmen. Yeah, you have to be like, why do you need these? Why am I shipping them out to you? Let's see, I've called Eric Raffle. Nobody is showing up. We're happy to roll out the new webpage. Oh, is energy deficiencies talking about
of Director William Banks, dated October
weird
5th,
things happening from Delta?
It has been brought to my attention by environmental services that the recent power grid changes have caused many non-critical systems to malfunction. The report explains that this is due to either intermittent power outages or lower than optimal voltage input. It also says that sufficient power distribution to all non-critical systems is becoming more difficult to maintain, thanks to Dr. Kruger and his so-called optimizations to the energy stores in and around the facility. I assured the director of ES that I would file a report with Central Authority over this.
But Kruger seems to have a ridiculous amount of authority for a scientist. There doesn't really seem to be anybody supervising him. Oh, hello. Wow. That was such a battle. One imp by himself. How was I going to... And that's another one of those interesting things in between Doom 3 and the reboot. Is that expansion, Doom 1 and 2 and Doom 3 and the reboot. Is the expansion of the number of enemies you're fighting at any given time. I don't know how Martian Buddy got my address. Actually, that is a good question, because that would assume that there is a corporation on Mars besides UAC.
This is Paul Simon, security specialist in IT. Our network security has been breached several times over the last few days. Now, it looks like it may have been going on longer than that, but whoever did this really knew what they were doing. They covered their tracks really well. I just happened to notice some log anomalies, or would still be going on. The intrusion came on an encrypted carrier signal from the Delta complex. They piggybacked the virus on one of the supercomputer requests, and it peeled itself from the data stream once it was inside our firewall. Someone on the inside there has to be responsible. Unfortunately, due to security in that complex, I can only tell it came from within Delta. There's no way to identify which machine or even which lab it came from. Whoever was in our system had access to all personal data, including medical reports.
Not the medical reports.
The network closely in the next few days, looking for anything unusual. End of log.
Okay, strange things are going on. They're coming from Delta. What is it? Let's find out, but not today. That's going to be next time. Thank you for watching. Questions, comments, recommendations for something to play next? Comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long for now.